What is up, everybody? Clint Esposito here with just a little preview for Glendale Supercross. We're going to go over the track map, entry list, injury list, a little bit of press day. Already got an abbreviated intro there because it didn't load or whatever the hell happened. Alright, so today we have Glendale. Thank the Lord. Alright, he delivered an Easter egg of Arizona Supercross for Easter. I already said Easter, but whatever. It's weird, right? They had last weekend off, and then they race on Easter weekend. I don't know. Who am I to know? Okay, so here we go with the track map. Let's see what we got. Long ass start straight. I believe that's actually the technical term for it, is long ass start straight. Into a sweeping 180. So it's not like you can't really, like, I feel like you can probably get like a crap start and scoot around the inside there, because people will kind of fade out, and the fact that the corner's a little bit wider, you can kind of like stay in that. People will like fade as it sweeps. So right into a long rhythm section, 180, another long rhythm section, or not long, but just a rhythm section. 180 into it looks like a pretty long whoop section, 45 out across start straight, under the tunnel. I'm not even going to venture to guess what that is. That's not a 180. It's like a 120 degree turn, maybe? Something like that. Still kind of a sweeper. I don't know. So these sweepers, I don't think you're going to see very much block passing in them. It'll probably be a little bit more single file, because it's not like you can really like chop up underneath somebody that easily. So you have the right-hander 120 degree turn, I'm going to say. Finish line double. Right-hander, little, I don't know, rhythm. Probably single, go inside single, triple, or outside triple, single. Doesn't seem like that would be that good. Over the tunnel. Into another rhythm section, triple, 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 maybe. Then, rhythm section that has like some like a split lane thing. So that's cool. You have yeah, I mean the jumps are just staggered. It looks like on the left hand side and the inside maybe there's on off, and the outside has all just doubles. Or no, there's an on off later. So they just like took the middle of the section and flipped it opposite of each other, which is pretty cool. At least it's just a different option. Then 180 back onto the start straight, and then back through the first corner sweeper. So it is a cool track. I think they didn't cross the start straight as much as they have been, which makes it look like a lot of unused room there in the middle. It looks kind of weird, but I guess we'll see what the lap times end up being. But I mean, it looks good. The other thing about the track is Arizona, it is dry and hard pack. So I would imagine the whoops are going to stay pretty gnarly the whole time. So you're probably going to be skimming all the way through the main event, unlike some of those places, where it gets really chopped up, like Seattle did, or whatever the one that Roxon won. That one was terrible. That one you couldn't even, everybody was barely making it through them. So we are going to go, that's not where I wanted to go. We're going to go to the entry lists right now. We good? Yes, you can see it. Okay, I'm obviously just going to do the 250 entry list because we're pretty much sure who's going to be in the 450s, unless they're hurt, which I'm going to go over next. I'm going to go over injury list anyway. So, West Coast, we're back on the West Coast. Jet Lawrence, R.J. Hampshire, Pierce Brown, Max Volan, Styles Robertson, Derek Kelly, Josh Varese, Levi Kitchen, Mitchell Oldenburg, Carson Mumford, Derek Drake, Enzo Lopes, Robbie Wageman, Phil Nicoletti. Still got a little first aid cross next to him, which last time there was some people with the first aid cross but end up racing. So what do I know? I'm not even sure what that means. Dominic Thury, Cole Thompson, who is the Arena Cross champion, Mitchell Harrison, Dylan Schwartz, Caden Amarine, Jerry Robin. All right, we're getting back into people that most of you don't know. R.J. Wageman. R.J. Wageman and Robbie Wageman. Are they brothers? Like, he's from California, and he's also, that's got to be his brother. Is his actual name R.J.? Maybe it's Rob. Well, the other guy's Robbie. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Matt Moss, an Australian. Jerron Stapleton, also. Let's see. Anybody else? The Hunter Yoder, Max Miller. He's had some good. Austin Politelli, Hunter Cross. These are just names that I recognize. There's an updated with Colby Cop. I don't know what that means. Okay, so now let's go to the injury list. So, so here, let's talk about this. It is West Coast. Jet Lawrence has won every race except for the Triple Crowns. This happens to be a Triple Crown. I almost said Triple Clown. So this happens to be a Triple Crown. Can Jet Lawrence hold it together and win his first Triple Crown? Maybe. Hopefully. It's really weird that he hasn't been able to win a Triple Crown. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make very much sense. So anyway, onto the injury report. Injury report 450 SX, in case you didn't know. Cade Clayson is out with ribs. It says ribs out. We know all these people are out. It seems like it's written weird. Dylan Ferrandez, concussion. Comment, Ferrandez is on the sidelines following concussion sustained early in the season. There is no precise date on his return to racing at the moment. Okay, so he got a concussion, then backed it up with another concussion the following week. So the story here is not exactly, they didn't really explain it all. So I think it's good that he's probably taking a little time. Brandon Hartenraft, back, shoulder, hip, and more, out. He's been out the whole season so far. Hartenraft sustained devastating injuries, including a traumatic brain injury before the season got underway, and is still struggling with rehab. If you can handle listening to him talk about drill bits snapping in his spine during surgery, listen to the podcast he did with Jason Wygant. It says our own Jason Wygant, because I'm on Racer X, okay? Giving the people credit here. It's as excellent as it is tough to listen to. I do not want to listen to that, okay? I've been hurt enough myself that I don't want to listen to more. It's weird. I can tell stories about me being screwed up and stuff happening, but I'd rather not listen to other people's. Scott Meshy is out with a leg. Meshy fractured his tibia on press day in Detroit and is out for the season. Sounds like he more than fractured it, right? If you just fractured it, I don't think it would take, would it even be, I mean, I guess you'd wait 6 weeks, but I don't know. Marvin Musquin, can't even say his name, wrist out. Marvin might be back for a few rounds at the end of the season after breaking his scaphoid earlier in the season. Okay, so the scaphoid or navicular, I think they changed. It's always been called both, but for some reason, how they reference it has changed over the years. So I always heard navicular. Now they're using scaphoid, but basically, I broke mine. I don't think you can see it. I have a scar in the back of my wrist here, and it sucks. It's actually the injury that ended Ricky Johnson's career. And let me tell you, the issue is that you have a big piece of the bone, and then there's a smaller piece that comes off of it, and the smaller piece breaks off all the time. The issue is that there's literally one artery that goes down to that smaller piece of bone. So once you break it off, like with mine, I broke it off. They said, "Oh, it might heal. We'll just wait it out 6 weeks." Guess what? That bone died. It did not reattach. It died. Then I got a screw through that into the main bone to hold it on. At some point in my life, we realized I got x-rays, and that little bone that was being held on was totally gone. It had broken, and my body reabsorbed it. So then there was just a screw sticking out of the bone. And this is as much movement as I have out of my wrist. So, that one sucks. So hopefully it's not his right wrist, because that's what I did, my right wrist. And then I'm all re-gripping, son. That's why I got the high elbow on the right hand side. It's a necessity. Colton Nichols is out with, it says, head in. Colton Nichols will return to action this weekend in Glendale after crashing hard during practice in Daytona. That's good. Bubba Pauly, thumb out. Pauly is out after severing his thumb. That doesn't sound good in Indianapolis. Ray, finger, out. Ray broke his finger in Detroit and is out for the time being. Justin Rodbell, Achilles tendon. He sounds like a Greek god now. Just his injury does. Rodbell is out of action for the season with a torn right Achilles tendon. That sounds like it sucks. Malcolm Stewart, knee out. Stewart is out for the time being after undergoing surgery to repair a damaged knee, which was injured while practicing earlier in the season. You don't want anybody to get hurt, but it sucks when it's in practice, right? It's like, we didn't even get to watch it. No, that's not why. 250 Supercross West. Julian Bennick, thumb out. Bennick sustained broken thumb in Seattle. He's out for Glendale. That's it. One round. He's like, screw it. I'm coming back. Austin Faulkner, knee out. Faulkner is working towards possibly being ready for a few rounds of AMA Pro Motocross at the end of the season after hurting his knee in a big crash off the start at Anaheim 1, dude. He's only going to make a couple outdoor events? Jesus. Vince Freezy. He was riding 250, I thought. I mean, I guess he probably... Achilles. There is no timetable for Freezy's return. Who, what, where, hearing, what? Who, what, were hearing sustained an Achilles injury before the season. I don't understand that sentence. Okay. That sucks. Maybe it was karma. Justin Brayton did it. Kyle Greason back out. Greason is out after sustaining a burst fracture to his L3 vertebrae before the season. Matt Moss, thumb in. Matt Moss will line up for Glendale after hurting his thumb in Oakland. Cameron McAdoo, that's where I really wanted to get. Shoulder, out. McAdoo crashed while practice, sustaining a dislocated shoulder and torn labrum. He's scheduled for surgery today, Thursday, yesterday, and will be out for several months. Phil Nicoletti, wrist, out. Nicoletti is out for the season after dislocating his wrist in Oakland. Seems weird, right, because of his dislocation. But I think the issue is that when you dislocate stuff, you kind of like stretch the tendons, then it becomes loose. Dislocating a wrist also seems gnarly. Dylan Walsh crashed in Seattle and broke his tibia. He's out for Glendale. All right, we're not worried about 250 East right now because they're not racing this weekend. So, sorry guys, if you're on 250 East and you wanted to get in this and you wanted to get on my podcast here. All right, we are going to go to just some press day footage. This is by Motocross Action Magazine. I let everybody know because I don't give him credit. So, yeah, it looks nice and dry. Wait, is this year? Because Marvin was just, no, this is 1 year ago. I'm sorry, I have failed you all. What the hell? Okay, no press day footage. There was something else I wanted to look at with you guys here. Okay, so I lied. I don't have press day footage. Let's see if we can Motocross Action Magazine's page. Let's see if they have. There you go. 14 hours ago. I'm joking. I found it. Again, Motocross Action coming through with the goods. Okay. Here we go. Jet practicing a start. Oh my goodness. He looked amazing. Amazing. There's RJ. Looking amazing. I'm just going to say that about everyone. That they look amazing. It's hard unless you're there kind of watching to really be like, this guy looks better than that guy. It's hard to kind of watch this stuff. I mean, I guess if you are watching practice, like race day live or whatever, it's a little bit, you can kind of watch and see people, but again, there you can only watch one person at a time, whoever they're showing you, so it's hard to kind of get an overall feel. But like I said, there's not very many ruts popping up here. Everything's staying pretty flat, and like I said, I think the whoops are probably going to maintain a good edge, so there'll be real jumping whoops through the whole main. I see some people got on here and then left because we're live. There you go. There's Pooper Webb. Did I say that? I didn't say that. There you go. He tripled through that section. Back cross start straight into the sweeping left. Then go little rhythm section. He doesn't look like he was getting into it. Kenny rocks, and Kenny's good on hard pack stuff, I would say, just because he's a very technical rider. And the lack of power on that Suzuki means that he'll not have to fight wheel spin. No, I don't know that it's any slower than anybody else's, but yeah. Barsha, is Barsha good in slick conditions? He actually grew, well, so he's born in New Jersey, but he grew up racing in New York State, and over where he was at Metro New York, Walden Playboy, Ace, those are all hard pack tracks. So I would imagine he's pretty good on hard pack as well. That's because it's press day, they weren't doing the whole track. I was like, that is a weird line. Can you just hop out of that berm there and cut across? That's the hot line today. So yeah, yeah, Kenny's looking good. Obviously not pushing right now, just putting in some laps, getting used to some stuff. But hopefully that week off, he got to rest a little bit, and he's going to be coming in nice and fresh. The other thing is, it is a Triple Crown. Shorter races, he doesn't seem to face as much fatigue. You have enough time to recover in between. So I would say Kenny is a good, you can't tell with Kenny. But I would say he not to win at least, but like top 3, 4 for Kenny is a very good possibility. The other one, Cooper Webb, who actually they're showing right now, I would say he's probably good for a top 4. Just because he's always there and he's consistent. And obviously, Triple Crown, you need to be consistent. That's the name of the game. So you can never count Cooper out in a Triple Crown. Again, I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm just saying he'll be there. in the end, probably get a good, top 4 or 5 finish. El Hombre, he's just not. I think he gets too many bad starts, and then he tries to make up time, and especially on a slick track, you really can't override the track. I mean, it's easy to override the track. You can't like push super hard. Um, yeah, because you can get in trouble quick. So it's definitely the guys that ride a little bit calmer, like a Roxon. Even who was winning the last hard pack one, Plessinger. We all just say that he's good in mud and ruts, but I would say that riding GNCC stuff makes you good in just not groomed conditions. Because a lot of times on these supercross tracks, everything is so groomed and tacky that it's kind of like you can just hold it wide open. But I feel like Aaron is good when the track is like, like GNCCs, they're not disking anything. If it's a hard pack area, guess what? You got a hard pack course. If it's a soft area, you got a soft course. So I think he's just better in more types of terrain versus like straight supercross guys are kind of used to the stuff being groomed and tacky. And that's even why, well, I mean, I say that, but like it's hard to emulate actual supercross track on race day, even with practice tracks, because everything sits outside. It's built and then it sits there and the sun bakes it and dries it out. So it's not quite the same as being on an actual supercross track um, in a stadium, because that stuff is brought right in. And a lot of times here it doesn't look it, but a lot of times, especially northern supercrosses, Seattle, stuff like that, they're bringing the dirt in kind of frozen. So it's like basically like Play-Doh while you're in there. Arena cross is the same way. It's just fresh dirt. It's really hard to. When you move dirt, it's still, they're wetting this stuff. So if you cut into a bunch of dirt, I'm getting off track here. You guys don't give a shit about this, but it's whatever. Like in the summer, never cut into your track unless it's going to rain, because otherwise you're just going to have dust there. So it's the same thing. They're either getting the dirt outside and it's already been sitting outside wet, and they're trying to dig from the bottom, which are still going to have moisture in it, or like say Glendale, say it was dry, they're going to be actually wetting the dirt as they're bringing it in, so that way you can compact it and make the jumps again. Because when you cut it and it gets aerated, it's going to turn powdery, and then you're not going to be able to pack it. So you have to wet it down as you're using it. So therefore, you're always going to have tackier scenarios in a supercross than you are at just like your practice supercross track or whatever. I don't have one, but you know what I mean. So that's it. Styles Robertson. Everybody's looking good. Like I said, do you guys leave it in the comments? Do you think Jet can finally win his first Triple Crown? Ever? He's never won one. I don't know if Hunter's won one ever, but not this year. So, all right, that's it. People, thank you, Motocross Action, for the footage. Thank you, Racer X Illustrated, for the entry list, injury list. Yeah, I am just I'm just a good Samaritan on the road up. No, I'm just somebody reporting. I want other people already reported, doing the hard work that nobody wants to do. No. All right.